Hey everybody, welcome to the Pancake Boat Podcast. I'm your host as always, Chad. This is my co-host TF. How you doing tonight, TF?
I'm doing pretty good, actually. It's going to be a interesting night, I think. Something a little new for us, so I'm excited
Definitely.
about that. Um,
Episode 201 tonight.
episode 201. We're in the 200s now. This is
That
probably
we
my
are.
official 200th episode. So,
Yeah, I believe it is.
but
Happy
yeah.
200, TF.
Well, thank you. It's apparently also my early birthday, so um,
Yeah, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
but
But,
yeah, I'm doing pretty good tonight. Kind of tired out from work, but excited for tonight. So I'm okay. I'm doing good.
well, I've asked everyone how they're doing now. Just kidding. How about you, Joey? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Much like you, it's been a struggle with this heat, but today's been better than the past few days. So
Oh, dude, yesterday was miserable. It was like 90 degrees and so humid, and there was thunderstorms earlier. Felt like I was in a jungle or something, man.
yeah, you always have the jungle feeling. I have more the dry feeling. So it's like I don't think neither are ideal. They're just kind of like different in their own ways. But
I think we're both just ready for fall now.
yeah, I'm ready for.
I've been pretty much in the jungle too.
How you doing with it?
I'm dealing with it's okay. If anything, it's kind of I've been a little bit too cold because I've been having to keep my air conditioner on all the time. Otherwise, it's like blazing hot, and it's kind of been taking its toll on my mom too. Just because
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even matter if you have the air conditioning on. Like once it gets like that hot, it's kind of
The humidity too really gets to you when you're sick.
Yeah,
yeah. It's so
Chad probably looks at us
it's not
though
fun.
like we're arrogant men with our air conditioners.
Yeah, but what can
I,
you do?
I can imagine what Chad's going through though because up until like about 2007, I didn't even have an air conditioner in my room. So
I got a fan going, so that's about what I have. But yeah, my mom hasn't been doing too well either, but she's doing a little better today than she did yesterday.
Glad to
She
hear that.
had kind of a rough day yesterday, but what do you say we go over our past few weeks here? I
I'm
think it
good.
was
I will go first because
actually it was last week when we did. Yeah, last week we
yeah,
did the podcast.
but I will go first.
Man, I have a lot to talk about this week then.
Yeah, I that's why I said I'll go first. 'Cause I have like a little bit, but not really like a ton.
So you go first,
This week I
buddy.
did have something to talk about, so I wasn't gonna like talk about a flashback because it was actually my birthday this week. So
That's right.
pretty much was just a low key day of just having family over and kind of well it was the Saturday before. It wasn't actually on my birthday, but having family over and just kind of you know having just a little something. It wasn't really anything major. Had like the infamous cake. It was kind of funny because I always think of that like how Chad has like a birthday pie because he posts like the picture of him having like the birthday pie, and I just have like the traditional cake. So it's like this big
I
difference.
have cake every few years.
Yeah,
Just change it up.
I don't eat cake a whole lot, so to me it's still rare to eat cakes like birthday cake. But that was pretty fun just to have family over and always a crazy time in terms of just a bunch of people over and kids running around and stuff. But
What was the cake like?
it was just I think it was marble cake. It was from Walmart, so
Marvel cake?
marble.
Oh,
Marble.
you got me excited thinking like Spider-Man, Captain
Nah, it was
America.
just a cake that like said happy birthday, and then it was like it was kind of funny because we went to Walmart to go pick it up like the day before, and it was just like for some reason like the bakery wasn't open, so this other lady did it, and like we went in line, and you know how it goes when they don't put the sticker on there, and like you're just standing there, and like the lady has to like the bakery's closed, so the cashier lady has to go like looking around the store to find someone to give her this sticker. So like you're like the jerks in line that are holding people up, and I'm just like standing like we're just standing there. Like,
Yeah, I hate
we're
that.
standing here joking around. I'm just joking around like all this just for a birthday cake. Like and we can't just leave because we have all our other stuff. So it's like we just kind of stand there and like it was kind of funny because like that Walmart's kind of packed. It was a Friday, so it was pretty packed. And like this lady in the very back of the line
Oh
that's kind of
man,
like
Walmart is a nightmare on a weekend.
yeah. This
Yeah.
It's like a
lady in the back is
nightmare.
just kind of like looking around at other lines and looking to see where she can go. All the other lines are packed, so she just sticks it out. And finally we get out of there, but it was kind of like, at least the cake was good enough that it was kind of worth it for that. But for the most part after that, it was kind of funny because most of my birthday, on Monday night I just couldn't really sleep and I had a hard time sleeping, so I got like an hour of sleep or something like that. So on my birthday, I ended up like my actual birthday on Tuesday, I ended up like sleeping most of the entire day, which was kind of like just a weird way to spend a birthday, but I kind of had
I
Saturday.
felt so bad when you told me about
I
that.
kind of had Saturday though, so it was kind of like that was more my actual like kind of celebration for a birthday, whereas that was more so just kind of a normal day. But yeah, I've kind of been having some weird sleep issues. Like it's kind of weird because my body's programmed in a way to get like a certain amount of sleep. So either I don't get like a lot of sleep, or I'll get like 2 or 3 hours, or maybe 4 hours. And then if I do get sleep, like I'll fall asleep at like 11 o'clock, I have exhaustion, and wake up at like 6 a.m. and be up the entire time. So, and then I'll be tired like as night. So it's like I just can't find that perfect balance. But it's been getting back to normal a little bit more now, and just things like kind of getting a little bit better in terms of that. Not so much the heat, but at least there's air conditioning, like TF said. We don't have it on all the time, but we do have it on when it kind of matters, and because it's kind of cool in here, so that's been good. Other than that, that's been pretty much my time lately. It's kind of simmering down now that summer's kind of ending. All the birthdays that we had, I think there's like 6 birthdays in like a span of like 1 week for my family, so it's like that's always a
Man,
crazy time, and it's like now it's kind of like simmering a little bit. There's a couple more coming up like in the next couple months, but it's kind of just holiday season, and I know we're all excited for that. That's been my week.
I always like how the three of us and our friend Clark EFD, like our birthdays are in like a 2 month span.
Yeah.
Like first it's him, then it's me, then it's you, then it's TF like a month later.
Yeah.
That's weird. I never even thought of that, but it's like every month there's like a birthday.
Yeah.
Well, me and EFD share one, but he's got like early July, I got late July, then it's Joe like a few weeks later in August, and then we got a month till yours.
Yep. But that was my week, so who's next?
Happy belated birthday, buddy.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys' messages, everyone's messages. It was nice to, as much as I slept on that day, it was nice to kind of wake up the next day and see all those messages.
Yeah, I hope you had a pretty good birthday, Joe. I think the best birthdays are kind of the low-key ones where, at least for me, where there's not like a whole lot going on and where you can just kind of relax and,
Yeah, just enjoy
enjoy the time with your family and stuff.
How was your week, TFEO?
Oh, my week was pretty good. A bit busy as usual, but, just dealing with crazy customers and lack of workers at work, but a couple of interesting things happened this week. One we'll get into in a little bit, but I do have that review also of coming
Yes,
up.
I've been looking forward to that.
So I'll talk about that, but not too much going on. I mean, it's just been kind of hot, so there's not really a whole lot to do outside. You kind of just want to stay inside and, stay cool.
Yeah.
But trying to think if anything interesting happened. Most of my interesting stuff I'm going to be talking about in like separate segments, but I don't know. I guess when you can think that not too much has happened, at least you kind of can look back and say, hey, well, at least nothing bad happened, which like last year it seemed like every single time we did a podcast we were talking about some kind of terrible thing.
Yeah. Dude, this year has been a million times better than last year. I think so anyways.
I did like that tweet with you and the alpacas or whatever. That
Yes, I'll get into that in my story.
I actually...
I'm just looking through my Twitter and I see that
Yeah.
and I'm like, I got to ask, like, what was that about? And I know you'll get into it, but I want to know what that was about.
I'll talk about
I'm going to
that.
ask you, TF, what... Like, I see this, like, because I was looking at your Twitter, too, to see if I have anything to ask you. I see that Pokestop tweet. What's this about them, embracing it now?
I guess because there's like these two Pokestops like in the actual store, and these were like predetermined. Like they didn't decide to have these there. They just kind of are there. And so like at first it was kind of like everyone was kind of like, I don't know. They were trying to like stop people from just going in there to like play Pokemon or whatever. And especially because a lot of the a lot of my coworkers or whatever were just playing it all day. Now it's like everyone just playing it or whatever, and they can't even stop it because it's just kind of
You can't fight this. It's a phenomenon.
They just embraced it at this point.
Yeah.
Basically.
So they just put like this big sign like on a stick like as soon
Yeah,
as
I
you
get
walk
that
in the
now.
door that says like welcome to the Glass Mountain Pokestop, which is like what it's called, like, the Glass Mountain. It's actually named after that big glass thing that I was talking about, how it was like starting to like make strange noises during that storm when like one of my bosses got like blown out the front door. Like that's right where it is. So they put that sign up there, and I think it's actually probably helped business.
Has anyone started charging for that yet? Like, come pay us to play Pokemon in our store or
I'm
whatever?
sure someone has, but I don't know for sure. I'm sure like some
Yeah,
little store.
I'm sure somebody has. I mean, the fact of I think that the big thing is that there's so many like of these Pokestops that unless you're like in an area where there's like not a whole lot going on, Like you can pretty much just go to like any church or whatever, and they'll have one like standing in front of it, or like any landmark.
Mm.
But that's not a bad idea.
I still haven't
You're
played
gonna,
it
you're gonna
yet.
have to get on that.
Should have played it. Should have played with the alpacas. You were there.
All right, you want me to go next, TF, or you have anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I guess I'll kind of start out with a little segue into some of my segments for later on, by just saying one of the big things I think was a new restaurant that opened up next door to my workplace, which it's a couple funny stories to tell about, but I'll get into that. But that was probably the
Well, you
highlight.
can tell the stories now. We'll say. I was thinking like later it'd be more like a review of how the actual food is.
All right, well, I guess I'll get into that a little bit then. So there had been this sandwich shop that's going to be opening up like next door to where I've been working, and a lot of my coworkers have been talking about it for a while. I've been seeing them build it for months now, but it's like a new like extension to the mall basically, and this is kind of the first store that's opening up there. And the night before, we actually like found out that like the first 100 people who showed up there would get like free sandwiches for a year or whatever. Like so, like a couple of my coworkers actually decided they were gonna like start lining up there at like 5 in the morning when they were like first letting people stand in line there. And I was very tempted to attempt this, but unfortunately I had to work the next day, so that just wouldn't have been possible because I would have had to have been out there like during the time when I should be working and whatnot. But it was kind of funny though, because like during that day or whatever, like I come into work and it's probably around noon, like right about when they're finally starting to let people go into the restaurant itself. And like on the news, like I see like this guy from work or whatever who I'm friends with, like waving at the camera, and I'm like, this is kind of crazy. They had like this DJ sitting out there or whatever, and like
A DJ?
yeah, I'm like doing like these like giving away these free samples and stuff, and like having like
Sounds
a
fun.
dance contest. And apparently he won the dance.
I have never heard of a restaurant opening quite this big before.
It had like a lot of hype leading up to it because it was the first one in Michigan. It's been like a big hit in like Pennsylvania and a couple other states.
I've heard of it before.
And it's called Primanti Bros, and it definitely like there were a lot of people waiting there. Like there was probably like well over 100 people who were like waiting out in front of it at like 5 in the morning. So it was a big deal. And I thought it was kind of funny too, because then there were like all these like interviews and articles or whatever, and I was reading them. I was seeing like these people who like I knew or whatever, like like saying, "Oh yeah, like we're having a lot of fun out here, like with the DJ." And I was like, "This is kind of bizarre. Like this is even bigger than I thought it was going to be when they finally opened up this place." But later on that day, when they finally opened up to the general public about 3 p.m., I actually got to go in there and get a taste of what this place was all about, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'll just say that I was quite impressed, but I'll get into that a little bit more later. But
There's your teaser for later, everybody.
how about you, Chad? How's your week been?
All right. I'll start off by saying that earlier in the week, my mom and me went to the fair, which is the local one here in Presque Isle. Like we went to a fair, I think we talked about on the podcast like 2 or so months ago, which was like down to Holton, which is a little bit of ways. But we still wanted to go to the local one, and my sister actually wasn't in town. She was like with some friends. They went to like a Melanie Martinez concert.
Melanie Martinez. She's kind of weird.
Yeah, my sister is a fan. I think Joe's a fan of her too.
I've heard her music. Yeah, it's not
That
bad.
Crybaby song or whatever it's called is like funny.
She
The
reminds me
video
of
is
someone
funny
that I
too.
think like well, I don't know if he still would, but back in the day, like our friend EFD would probably.
Oh,
like.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I
what she
can see
reminds
that.
me of.
But yeah, my sister was down there with that, so my mom's like, "Well, you want to go check out the fair?" Because we do it every year. But honestly, like, even though it's fun going with my sister, we kind of like not going with her for one reason, and that's that with her, we always have to stay for hours and hours. And it was kind of nice just being able to go and just kind of check things out, just leave at our own leisure. So we didn't really go on any rides or anything this year, and we weren't there that long. We just went and saw the animals, which was where that alpaca thing happened. They always have like this little like they call it like old McDonald's farm like set up where you can go and see all the animals and stuff. But I always have to be in and out of there like in 20 minutes, or the hay starts to like make me like very allergic. So like we go in, check out the animals. They got everything there. They got like these little bunnies, and they got like goats and donkeys and cows, and alpacas, which I'm a big fan of. I don't know about you guys. I love alpacas. I think they're funny. I think they're cute. Like I really enjoy. I really enjoy alpacas.
I
like.
love alpacas.
So I asked my mom, like, can I get a picture with this alpaca? And we, like, tried multiple times to get a picture, but, like, the alpaca would keep, like, it wasn't cooperating. Like, it would keep turning around. But we finally got that picture with the alpacas, which was on my Facebook, and played a game or two. The dart with the balloon, that's always my favorite one because I'm pretty good at that. I got 2 out of 3 balloons. Unfortunately, no Mr. Perfect moment this time, but...
Hey, 2 out of 3.
You had your one moment.
Yeah, so I got like this little stuffed dog, which was pretty good, and ate some fair food, which usually we used to not eat fair food. We usually, like, it's so expensive that we used to always go to McDonald's afterwards, but now it's like, it's such a part of it that it's like you kind of have to eat it just because it's like the only time of year that you really eat that food. So I went to this like little place that was like the ye old London Shack or something. It looked like this little like British shop, and I got some chicken fingers and fries. It looked almost like I got fish and chips or something, but it was chicken. So that was really good. Very expensive though. It was like $9. So
That's with drink, I hope, right?
no.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
that's more expensive than some amusement parks here.
Yeah, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's
And,
fair food, though.
Yeah,
It's true.
everything at the fair is like really overpriced. Even the sodas are like $3 a bottle or something like that. So, but it was still fun, just something to do. And something kind of funny happened yesterday. My mom was like, "I'm going in the grocery store. You want to go in?" So I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I told you yesterday how miserable the weather was here.
Oh,
So
yeah.
she picked me up, and it's like already really hot and humid, and like we start to go into town, and we see like the roads blocked off, and we're like, "What's going on here?" And we stop, and we see that this like local parade is going on that we ended up getting stuck in for like an hour.
You got
So
stuck
we're
in
like,
a parade?
yeah, like in like 90-degree weather, and it wasn't a very good parade, honestly.
Oh man,
It
what
was
you told me about that. Go ahead.
it was kind of cheap. It was just like they found like everything they could just to put something together. Like they had fire trucks and local ambulances, and they had like a school bus there. And then it got really funny because they had like this really terrible like Elvis impersonator, like in a car like dancing to like Jailhouse Rock. And they had, for whatever reason, even though it was like the hottest day of the year and it's August, they had Santa Claus. And he was
heck?
driving around. They had Santa Claus driving around in like a Cadillac. Just like a bunch of kids, and they had like some soldiers marching and stuff. So it was pretty interesting, and I think if it were on any other day, I probably would have enjoyed this quite a bit just for the randomness of it. But the fact that it was like 90 degrees and miserable, and we were like stuck having to watch this whole thing, it was not really an ideal situation, but at least it made for a pretty amusing podcast story on the podcast.
Yeah, that sounds pretty miserable, but hilarious in its own way.
Yeah. So that was my week, at least the highlights of it.
Well, hey, any week that has something to do with alpacas is pretty eventful, I would
I
say.
agree.
And Santa in the Cadillac. Can't beat that.
And Santa in a Cadillac. I think Joe even mentioned, like, joked with me yesterday, like, man, it must have been miserable if, like, something with Christmas didn't make you happy. 'Cause I love me my Christmas.
Yeah,
But,
that's true. Although that would be weird, though. Like, it just seems so, like, out of, like...
Yeah. Like, I'm not like you. Like, you're, like, very OCD about, like,
I am.
Christmas stuff needs to be at Christmas time. It's like, no, I don't mind listening to Christmas music in random times of the year, but it was a little weird seeing Santa Claus, like, driving around in the Cadillac, like, the hottest day of the year in August, so... I think they were just, like, desperate to try and think of what can we do to, like, spice up this parade? What can we have here? I have no idea what was up with Elvis or any of it. It was interesting. All right, guys. What do you say we jump into tonight's topics?
I'm all set.
I'm all set.
All right, this isn't really a news topic, but it's news to us. TF, you wanna share the news with what you purchased today with our audience?
So, I've been talking about doing this for a while just because...
Years, I think.
Yeah, you know, and I'll kind of get into a little bit of a backstory here. I've never been much of a console gamer since probably about the PS2 or whatever. I've kind of been more of... really like more of a PC gamer, which it's been kind of not so good because you guys are a lot more like console gamers. So we never really had a chance to kind of do a lot of gaming outside of every now and then when there would be some computer game that would come along that we would all kind of do together. So
Honestly, the thing with computer games is they just make my computer really, really slow.
yeah, you kind of
I'm
have
on
to
a-
have a pretty like
Yeah.
strong computer to be able to do that.
Like some people have like separate computers just for gaming.
I'm on a laptop, so I don't even have like a good graphics card on this thing.
Yeah.
So I actually decided to just jump in and buy an Xbox so we could have I could kind of
Yeah.
join the classic Xbox night with you guys, and I did. I'm actually messing around with it right now, and it's kind of weird getting back into the whole console thing after probably a good 10 years of, if not longer, of not really having a
It's going to be
console, so.
really weird for you going from PS2, I think you said was the last one,
Yeah.
to this, because like we kind of had the 360 in between, so we kind of transitioned. Like we saw like some of this stuff like start to happen, but for you, it's probably like a whole new world.
It really is. I mean, it's in some ways it's I kind of have a little bit of an idea of what it's going to be like just because when you do PC gaming, you kind of get into more of the more modern styles of gaming and stuff like that. But it's just so weird, like having all these extra options that you never had back then. And now it's like, man, they've really
You can do everything on there now. You can get on Skype. You can watch Blu-rays. You can like download movies and music. It's crazy.
yeah, it's like it's come a long way. It's come a
But
long way.
I'm excited to have you as part of the Xbox team, buddy.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, I'm excited to be a part of it finally after years of hearing about it. So
We actually got you a little early birthday gift
Yeah.
today. Joe and me got you Trivial Pursuit, which is a game that we like to play a lot. So
yeah, I'm really looking
after the-
forward to getting to play that with you guys.
after the podcast tonight, we'll be playing it. So next week we can kind of give everyone a report of how it went.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. I mean, it's awesome, like now kind of getting to like really get into the thick of things. So I
Well-
appreciate it.
We were just thinking about it. It's like we weren't really sure what we'd be doing tonight. So it's like we should get him a game. And we thought about that or Sonic 4. But the thing about Sonic 4 is that would be really fun if it were 3 players, but unfortunately
Yeah.
it's only 2 players. So.
Yeah. So this is going to be real fun though. I can't wait to do this. It's going to take me back to the days of like back when they used to have like MSN games, or you would do like The Sims
I remember.
Online, or like Oz,
Or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
Wants
when
to
we
Be a
played that on
Millionaire.
Facebook.
Fun
Memories
times.
of Oz.
And funnily enough, too, the WWE 2K16 is actually going to be free in like a week, so
Yes.
it'll be very interesting to see you play that.
I'm looking forward to that.
We can do some 6-man tags, like the 3 of us. Like we can play against other people, we can play against the computer, we can do whatever we want.
I can't wait for this. This is going to be fun.
I think we should probably start him off against the computer. What do you think,
Yeah,
Joe?
he has to get used to the controls and stuff.
He's not ready for other people. We're
Yeah.
I think he'll like the face scanning too. I like seeing how that
Yeah,
works.
you can like scan a picture of your face and like send it in. I actually created UTF, so I can put you straight up. And download.
That's going to be fun. I can't wait for that.
I think you'll probably have more fun creating people than actually playing through the matches.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
There's a-
possible.
There's some different creator wrestlers on there too, like not even just wrestlers. I know Chad and I have like this other account where we do like pop culture people, and there's like
There's, like,
Taylor Swift,
Taylor
Selena
Swift,
Gomez,
Selena Gomez, like superheroes.
Tom
Oh,
Hanks,
man.
I think.
Yeah,
Maybe
gonna
that's
be
the
fun.
account we'll actually play on. Is that third account?
That would be a good one actually, because I think he'd get more into that.
I think so too. But I'm excited for it. What do you think, Joe? You excited for this?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a lot of possibilities. Even something I don't know if Chad told you about this yet, but I kind of mentioned it because I was thinking about Netflix and kind of how like there's stuff on there like we could watch. But then I was thinking like even with Christmas time, usually we do the specials on YouTube. We can actually like if you can end up getting Netflix, we can actually do the specials on there and have like
Oh
an easier
yeah, I'll
time
have to do that.
So
Not only that, but like YouTube's actually on there, so you can
Yeah.
watch the specials right on the TV.
that's what I do every year. So there's definitely a lot of appeal to it in terms of stuff we can do even for the podcast, even adding to that. So
Oh yeah, I'm
Definitely.
definitely going to do that.
All right. As far as the actual news for the week goes, you guys know about the site Rotten Tomatoes?
I've heard of it.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I've heard of it.
It's been around forever. It's like a critical site
Yep.
for movies. And fans of the movie Suicide Squad this week actually created a petition to shut down the site
What?
because critics were giving it bad reviews. And listen, I love DC Comics. I'm actually hopefully going to see Suicide Squad tomorrow, which I'm very excited for. But I think this is ridiculous. I mean, first of all, I think people put too much stock into critics' like opinion anyways. It's like, I'm not saying I don't care what critics think. It's nice to hear like from someone that saw the movie and think, oh well, they didn't like it, maybe I'll like it, or maybe they liked it, but maybe I won't like it. But I think anyone that lives or dies off critics' opinions, I mean, you shouldn't do that. You should just see the movie for yourself. But a lot of people were just mad by like the bad reviews, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that they would actually create a petition to try and shut the site down. I think that's going a little bit too far. I don't know what you guys think.
I would agree with that. I mean, there are certain movies that critics are just going to pan. Like it doesn't really matter like what happens. I mean, a lot of times critics will be able to influence like how things actually turn out as far as like success and things like that. But ultimately, I mean, it should be up to what you think. I mean, there have been plenty of movies that got panned by critics or were box office failures that are now considered cult classics or are considered just classics in general.
And there's been movies that they like absolutely hated that were big successes, like Batman versus Superman.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it can be a big deal, but most of the time it's just kind of just hearsay. It's not really a big deal. And I think in what they're suggesting to do, it's just kind of like just gives them more power in a way. Like it just makes it seem like their opinion should matter more when ultimately it really shouldn't affect anybody in what they think.
What are your thoughts, Joe?
I think it's silly because I think, even if you don't agree with it, don't read the site. Like, what does it matter if they get bad reviews? It's like kind of like you guys were saying, it's just like you're just giving them more power. But to me, it's just like everyone is entitled to an opinion. Just because someone doesn't like the movie and you like it doesn't mean that you should be able to just say, oh, well, you should just shut down your website due to that. It's like, that's just weird. It's like, just think of that like in an everyday context, like someone, like how people are with politics, not to get too much into that, but it's like, if someone doesn't like a certain candidate.
For you, though.
Yeah, it's like if someone doesn't like a certain candidate, are you just going to be like, oh, well, shut down their Twitter account or something like that? It's just...
It wouldn't surprise
that is what would happen. Sadly.
There are a lot of people that want Donald Trump to shut down his Twitter account.
No, but I mean, I don't mean just him. I mean, like people who support him, like just because they support him, being like, oh, well, you support Donald Trump, it doesn't matter what you use the internet for, just spend your, it's just like...
Joe, people are going to try to shut down your account for just suggesting this isn't a good thing.
Exactly. Exactly. To me, it's just like, I don't know. I just don't agree with that. I think, if you don't like someone's opinion on it, then just don't read it. Don't visit it, It's just that easy to me.
I totally agree. Speaking of DC, I actually have a little review myself tonight. I played the Telltale Batman game this week, and I absolutely loved it. Like I
love Telltale games.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I actually played the Back to the Future game, which was fun, and I actually liked this quite a bit better than that. It felt like it gave you more options. Like, I can be kind of picky when it comes to video games, so for me to find a video game that I really, really love is actually quite rare, but I really love this. Like, I played the Arkham games, and they were pretty fun, but they were more like action-oriented, whereas this was more like story-oriented. And honestly, I think you play more as Bruce Wayne than you actually do as Batman, which actually appealed to me because, like mobsters would come in, you could like embrace them into your home, or you could like tell them to leave, and it would like influence the story. And I just thought that was really cool. I just loved all the control that they gave you, and just the cutscenes were really good. It was just really interesting. If I have any complaint, it would probably be that it just didn't feel long enough. Like it was about 2 hours, so it was pretty decent. But there's going to be like episodes that come out like every month, and I already know I'm definitely getting the next one, so I'm very excited for it, and really enjoyed the game. And I would highly advise it to either of you guys if you have any interest in it. But it's a one-player game, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think Telltale, like, it's kind of hard to go wrong with those Telltale games. They're always so interesting, and there's really a lot to do, a lot to explore in all of them. I really like the Walking Dead ones they had.
Yeah.
The Back to the Future one, like you mentioned, like it was really good, and I'm just glad to see that they're kind of catching on more, and you're seeing more and more games by them now. Whereas before they were kind of more of like a niche market almost. Like they were pretty popular in their circles, but I think that now, like especially with coming out with like Batman and things like that, I mean it's kind of starting to be more mainstream, or like with The Walking Dead, and I even liked the Borderlands one that they had, and I wasn't even really a huge Borderlands fan of like the actual game itself, but um, yeah, I just love them. They're just I think it's a really cool concept.
Me too. I definitely would recommend not only playing this, but hopefully they put out more games. Hopefully they, like you said, they're kind of catching on. Hopefully this becomes like a big thing where like every show on TV has like a Telltale game. I think that'd be pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
I think that they're it's like they're really starting to like grow as a company and grow with people who are interested in kind of extending their franchise to them and having a game with them. So
I'd love to play like a Flash game or like an Arrow game or
I could
something
see
like
that
that.
happening actually.
I could too. Or a Supernatural game. That'd be really fun too.
That would be interesting.
But you, Joe, you have any thoughts on Telltale in general? Your
Yeah, I
experiences
played
with them?
a couple of them, and it's kind of funny because you're like we were talking about that when you were playing it, and it was just kind of reminded me of when I played them and kind of how it felt. And the one thing I like too is not just for them, but it's like other games are coming out like that too, where they have like other companies designing games kind of like that, where it's choice based. And it's kind of fun to just see the differences there and kind of like that unique style of storytelling. Because being honest, like even for me, like a lot of the time I'm just like a multiplayer guy. Like I like I can enjoy a good single player game if it's like the right thing, but it's like it's such a rarity now. Like games kind of focus a lot on multiplayer more than do single player these days. So it's like, to me it's just kind of fun to play with your friends. But when you can find a game like that, or one of those Telltale games where you can just play like by yourself and actually get lost in the story and just kind of have fun with it, that's old school gaming to me. That's what I loved as a kid. And it's not obviously
Yeah.
the same style of game because these are more story oriented and a lot a little less action than you get with those games, but it's just that same feeling. And it's just interesting to see these kind of branch out a little bit and all these different genres come in. Because kind of like Tim mentioned, like there's some that I'm not really into that I never played, but it's just cool to see them doing different stuff. And I definitely would give this a try. But kind of like I was telling you, it's like I would want to do this when it's kind of like they're all out, because I know when I was playing like the Walking Dead one, I kind of came into a little bit later when they're like most of the episodes were out, and I was kind of like, I know when I finished one, I'd always be like, man, I really want to play the next. So it was kind of nice to be able to just go to the next rather than be like see this preview and be like, man, I gotta wait like a month or two to see what happens next. Like I want to play.
I gotta wait now for the next
Yeah,
Batman,
and
unfortunately.
it's like it's like it's like, man, you're just kind of amped. You're like, I want to see what happens next. So yeah, I definitely,
Yeah,
for me, I'm a waiter. Go ahead.
it can be kind of rare for that for me too, because what the thing that I really like about this game and the Telltale games in general are just all the choices that you can make.
Yeah.
Because I don't know about you guys, but like normally when I'm playing a game and I just feel like I'm playing through a story that's like already preset for me, that gets kind of boring for me.
Yeah,
Especially if you can kind of see where it's going.
Yeah. So to actually like be able to like change the outcome of things and just like not knowing exactly where you're going, I think that's a big appeal for me, and that's what I really love about the Telltale games.
I love the thing too at the end where, because you see it afterwards. I was telling you about it when you're playing, but where it tells you like what other people pick too, because it kind of gives you
Yeah, that's cool.
perspective into like, did I pick something that other people picked, or be kind of like seeing something like you pick something, but then like you're just shocked that other people pick like something else.
I was in the minority on some things, like especially when it comes to like the lesser violent things, because like when they had like you in like interrogating criminals, like I was kind of nice about it, but then like they showed the options at the end. It's like other people were like torturing them, so it's like, yeah,
Yeah, you just
I can see that.
kind of see how it goes. It's kind of fun to see where your choices line up. But yeah, definitely a fun genre of games.
Apparently this week a McDonald's of the Future opened in Missouri, which is offering self-serve kiosks. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, actually a funny story about that. Yeah, I remember when me and you visited that futuristic McDonald's for
Yeah,
the
in
first time
Chicago
in
at Navy
Chicago
Pier.
on Navy Pier. We took that video of it. Today I noticed that video is suddenly blown up on my page, and
Wow.
I started getting these comments about it all of a sudden. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? And then I mentioned it to you, and you're like, oh yeah, it's because they opened up that new McDonald's of the Future in Missouri, and that video, of course, was called McDonald's of the Future, and it's not the same McDonald's, but
And I also told you to monetize
Yeah,
that
I was
thing,
gonna
'cause
say,
it's
I
probably
hope you
gonna get a
monetized
bunch
it.
of views now.
yeah,
Probably make some good coins off that, yeah.
I probably
Probably
could.
not.
I'm definitely gonna add it on there.
But yeah, I guess this offers self-serve kiosks, table service, which I guess like with waiters and stuff, a dessert bar, and unlimited French fries. So
Unlimited.
this sounds really cool to me. I mean, the unlimited French fries immediately sticks out to me as something really cool.
Why are they suddenly offering unlimited French fries? I mean, not that this doesn't sound like a great idea to me, but
I don't know. Probably just like a extra thing to make this sound cool. I don't know, but I think all of it sounds neat. I mean,
it does.
I like the idea of like the self-serve machines because I don't know about you guys, but I can be kind of socially awkward. So like when I'm going to like McDonald's, like it's kind of rough going up and like ordering. So it's kind of nice to have like a little machine where you can kind of. Although I can see some things going wrong with that too, but things go wrong with their employees. So what do you think of table service? That's kind of weird.
I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of strange.
A dessert bar.
I like the dessert bar idea because you can kind of get a bunch of different desserts and see what you like.
Yeah. I want like a burger
buffet
bar.
or something.
Burger bar.
Dude, if they had a McDonald's buffet, I would weigh like 100 pounds more than I do right now.
I have a McDonald's buffet. Now that would be something.
I think some places have a McDonald's breakfast buffet. They're pretty rare though.
Really?
I've heard of them. Like in the South, I think.
Oh, of course it would be in the South.
Well, speaking of, actually, do you have any thoughts on this show?
I definitely think it's a fun concept and idea, and I'd be very curious about it because you mentioned that whole interaction with worker thing. It was kind of at least with a machine, if you mess something up, you could just go fix it. I remember like it was one of those trips where I think TF was there too, where I ordered my burgers and stuff, and they kind of had ketchup and stuff in them, so I had to like awkwardly go up and go all the way back and like get new ones. And thankfully that lady was actually really kind about it, and actually a lot nicer than she could have been. So that was okay. But it was kind of weird to do that. Whereas like at least with a machine, you're probably gonna get your order pretty much right. But if it does make a mistake, you're just with a machine. I doubt that's gonna.
Yeah, you can't really fight with a machine.
It'd be kind of amusing though if it did. Like you go to walk off and the machine's like back talking you something, like someone behind the machine or something is like back talking you. But yeah, I definitely think it's a fun idea, and I definitely would love to see something like that, like spread around and kind of be the norm.
Speaking of restaurants, we've been waiting for this since the start of the show. TF, give your Primanti Brothers review.
So yeah, I mean, the first time I went there, it was extremely busy. Like the place was basically packed, and there was no place to even sit down there or like go up to the bar area just because there were so many people there. So it wasn't that wasn't a big deal to me because I was on my I was actually on my break, and I only had a half hour, and they were like, "Oh, it's going to be like 20 minutes," and I was like, "Oh, well, this isn't going to be too good. I hope I have enough time to even eat this." But it was kind of funny because it was actually one of my coworkers, one of my bosses actually just told me to go over there anyways. Like, oh, just take your time, whatever. Just bring back something for me or whatever. And he gave me some money. And, like, I basically went over there, like, stood in line for like a half hour to like get some of this food. And let me say, this was definitely worth it. I actually went there twice, so I'll talk a little bit about the first time I went there. I got the it was a corned beef and a corned beef sandwich, but I don't know. They do this kind of crazy thing where they it's like a huge sandwich on these like huge pieces of bread, and they put like this I don't really want to call it like sauerkraut, but they put like some kind of like almost like a coleslaw type thing on it or whatever, and like a big pile of fries like on the sandwich, and then they put like
it's like their gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's just like this really like hearty like crazy looking sandwich. And like admittedly when I first seen this I was kind of a little bit iffy about it just because it's kind of I'm more of like a simple kind of guy when it comes to like sandwiches and burgers and stuff, but this was actually really delicious. I thought it all kind of worked really well, and I was a little, like I said, a little leery about them putting fries on there. It just kind of worked with it. And the second time around I ended up getting this thing called the Pittsburgher, which was like really delicious too. Like the burger itself was really good, and it kind of had the same toppings on it. Just again, it just blended really well. It was just a really hearty, like good sandwich, and I would strongly recommend this. Like I know, like again, like even admittedly, like it's kind of a strange concept first when you see the sandwich, but I just think that if you give it a try, I mean, you'll just see that it just all really works, and I loved it. I'm definitely gonna be going back there, and it just seems like a cool place to hang out and enjoy a good meal, and the whole area, they're like right around that store is starting to kind of become a pretty awesome little spot there, because now they just opened up this new movie theater there. They just opened up a
Nice.
Starbucks there. They opened up this Primanti Brothers, so it's and then you got like the big pokey stops all over the place. So it's a pretty happening spot there now. And
It's pretty rare to actually see like a place like booming these days. It seems like all around like towns and cities like everything's closing.
yeah, and it was like that like for quite a while, that mall there, at Southland Mall, and like initially they had like this big food court there, and they got rid of it when they built our store on top of that, and after that they didn't really have a lot of stores in there, like a lot of places to eat or anything. But just since I started working there, they've opened up a Taco Bell, they opened up a Subway, now they opened up the Primanti Brothers. They're going to be opening up this like really cool pizza place that's kind of like a legitimate like Italian
Wow.
fire like brick oven type pizza place, and they opened that theater now, and so, there's several more stores and restaurants that are going to be opening up soon within the next year or two. So just kind of a cool time to be a part of that and kind of get to see this growth there. So I'm excited.
Well, that sounds intriguing. Like I remember when you first posted about this, I told you I'm not really a big sandwich guy. Like I just don't eat sandwiches that often. But I did look at the site and saw that they do have a burger, so that interests me.
The burger is really good. It's really good.
I don't know about the coleslaw though, because I don't like coleslaw. So
it's not really coleslaw. I don't really even know what it is. Like it's kind of like this, like I don't want to say like a salad type thing almost put on it, but it's kind of like these, kind of like a kind of vinegary like salad type thing, and it's just
I don't know about
that's
that.
what I said though. I was kind of I was kind of iffy about it too, but it just worked.
Maybe I'd try it, but could you get it without that?
Oh yeah, I mean you don't have to get it on there. You don't even have to get the fries on there, but
Unfortunately, we don't have any of those around here. But if we did, if like any do open up anytime, I'd like to go because I'm interested by it, especially after your raving review about it. So.
yeah, I mean they seem to be expanding a lot. Like they're opening some up in other states now. They're going to be opening another one up in Michigan here pretty soon. So I think they're really starting to catch on. And just seeing the response that they had there, and seeing that there were like 100 people like waiting in line outside at like 5 in the morning, and then seeing it packed.
That kind of reminds me of that Five Guys that opened down in Bangor. Like anytime I go in there, it's like crazy.
Oh, I love
Just
Five Guys.
I love Five Guys too.
I'm kind of jealous of the other Best Buy like nearby. It's a similar distance from the one that I work at, but they actually have like a Five Guys next door to them, and that's the one that I always go to. So
imagine just like being able to eat there like anytime you want.
I would go there to lunch every day, and I'd probably like put on like an enormous amount of weight, but
probably go broke too because they can be kind of pricey, but it's always worth it.
Yeah, well, the Primanti Brothers is pretty pricey too, but I definitely wouldn't want to go there every day.
What are your thoughts, Joe?
It definitely sounds like a fun place. For me, not really my thing because me and condiments. So I would just be eating a plain sandwich really, which kind of happens when I, eat from Subway or something. But, for the most part, it does sound like a very good place to eat for people who are fans of that. I mean, I feel like I've heard it maybe before.
Fries on the burger. Would you try that?
I definitely would. I
try that.
Sometimes I do that on my own. Like sometimes, like I'll just give it a little bit of flavor and put like a fried sandwich or something. I don't know. I'm just like
I never do that, but
I don't know.
Wow, Joe, what an exciting life.
Yeah, well, I'm not a condiment eater, so I gotta add some flavor to things. Can't keep it plain all the time. But
yeah,
it just looks depressing. Like I've been to like fast food restaurants with you before, and it's just weird seeing this like patty with like nothing on it.
That's not bad actually. Like McDonald's is bad because like their patties and their kind of like their burger has some like flavor to it on its own, so you really don't need that. But some other places are kind of generic.
All right, guys, we got one more topic here of the week, and it's one of those funny ones that I want one of you guys to read. So I'm going to let you have the honors this week, Joe.
All right. I do not mind. Just link me to it, and I will be ready to read it.
There you go.
I'm laughing at the title as I open it. Dog crashes car into Walmart. And I have no idea what to make of this. I'm waiting for it to open, but all I
I'm
see is a
amused by
title
the
so far.
picture.
I saw someone link to this on Facebook this week, and it's like, I need to bring this up on the podcast.
All right, I've got it open. This happened in Wayne, West Virginia. Shoppers couldn't believe who was behind the wheel of a car crashed into a Walmart store in Wayne, West Virginia on Friday. A witness said she was standing in front of the store when she noticed the car started moving from its parking space to the front of the lot in her direction. The woman said the car slowly moved straight toward her, and at first she guessed the driver was someone she knew who was messing with her. That is until she noticed the face of the driver was that of a dog. The woman got out of the way and the car crashed into the store. She said the second dog was in the passenger seat. Correct, that dog somehow managed to roll the window down. The store paged the owner of the car, who turned out to be a woman the witness described as looking to be in her late 70s. The car's owner said she left the car running while she went to the store so the dogs could stay cool. And the dog had managed to get the car out of park. An employee with the store said the dogs were fine and there was minimal damage done to the building and the car.
What would you do, TF, if you were at like Walmart?
No, Best
and,
Buy.
like,
What
you
if
see
he's
this-
at work and this happens?
Yeah. What if you're in like the parking lot at work and you're about to go in, you see this car coming at you, and at first you think someone's like trying to run you down, but then you see it's a dog. Two dogs.
I honestly, I don't think that would surprise me too much, considering some of the crazy stuff that I see there. Like, it kind of reminds me of that story I was talking about recently, where like the security came over the intercom while I was like having some discussion with this lady at like the counter about something, about like, oh, can the person in like the green like whatever car like please like come to the front doors, like your dogs are in the car with the windows rolled up, and it was like a really hot day. And I was just like, oh, that doesn't sound too good. And the lady was like, oh, yeah, that's me. And I was like, it was just kind of so awkward. I was like, oh, well, do you want to like go out there and check? And she was kind of like, oh, just let's finish up with this real quick. I was like, well, this is awkward. So, honestly, like, it wouldn't shock me, but I would, that would be something to see. That would definitely
What are your
be something
thoughts?
to see.
What are your thoughts, Joe?
It's even funnier than me because like I was like just browsing random like music videos at one point. I found this music video with like these dogs like they're kind of like taking over like the roles of people for some reason. Like they're just like
You showed me that.
yeah, and like they were like in this car and like stuff was going on. I'm just like picturing that video now. These dogs like actually doing this purposely and just like driving on purpose and taking over the car and stuff. It's kind of amusing me. But yeah, definitely. I saw this. I'd be pretty freaked out given my fear of dogs in general. Just like these dogs like charging at the car near me. I probably would think someone was messing with me.
They're evolving, Joe.
People,
that would frighten me. Especially
people, listeners.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say especially with my fortune with dogs in the past and how they feel about me, I'd be frightened by that if they were evolving like that.
Listeners, two things. Don't leave your dog in the car on a hot day. Don't leave your dog in the car with the car keys in. Bad
Yeah, but
idea either.
it's like, I bet what she was doing though, and like what it sounds like is that she was trying to like
Keep
the air conditioning on like for her dogs, and then it kind of backfired.
Yeah, she had good intentions at least, but
I wish they had filmed like the actual. I mean, I don't know if they did because I haven't checked the video, but I want like an actual video just to see like how the dogs looked, like if they were like terrified or if they had like these looks of like I don't know, like being in this or something. I don't know.
I
It
was
was
just confused, honestly.
yeah, it would just interest me to see like the dogs as a part of this and the reactions of people.
All right, guys, it's time for our weekly quiz.
All right.
So I am going to magically make this baton appear, and I'm going to hand it to you, Joe.
All right, I appreciate the baton, and I have a quiz here. I'm gonna
Baton.
link you guys to it. It is what 90s Nickelodeon star are you?
Oh.
And I figured this would be different because I believe this is more just the actual star rather than characters. So, because
Yeah.
are you more
Definitely
Amanda
different.
Bynes or Kenan Thompson?
Well, I hope I'm not Amanda Bynes.
I don't know. You might be, but we'll find out. Let me know when you guys are all set.
I'm all ready. TF? TF?
I think TF's too excited.
TF?
TF's excited. He just can't hide it. He's about to lose control because he's excited for this quiz.
That is about the closest I think we'll ever get to you singing here on the podcast.
Probably. This is kind of amusing. He just goes dead as we do.
Probably froze him up.
Yeah, it did.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You got it all ready, buddy?
Wait, get what already?
What?
The quiz.
Oh, I thought you were doing the quiz, Joe.
What?
He did.
No,
He linked
I
to
linked
it.
to it.
Oh, I thought you. Okay, I get it. Sorry, like I said, I got kind of pulled away for a second here.
He missed he missed the closest I did to singing, I bet.
Yeah, Joe sang a little tune for us.
Oh, this is gonna be an awesome quiz. All right.
All right. I take your boat ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, I'm just going to assume TF's ready.
I am ready. I'm ready as I'll ever be, in fact.
Well, good. We got that line out of him. So it was worth
There we
waiting for.
go. There we go.
What's your sense of humor like? Quirky, sarcastic, you don't have one. Witty, geeky, or crazy?
Hmm.
You're
Probably go with
You're like
what?
a mix of these. I was going to say you're like a mix of some of these, so
Yeah, I'm a mix of some of these, but I think I'm gonna go with quirky. I think that fits the most.
I could see that. I could see that sarcastic and geeky kind of like rolled into one.
Yeah.
You're
I
a very
think
sarcastic man. Go ahead.
I think I would go with geeky personally.
Yeah.
Also,
I
I
don't
hate to butt into this, but how do I make like the? I'm like looking at this weird, like the kind of disturbing looking like Xbox character that they have for me to default that looks kind of like
Oh.
some drug dealer or something, and like I
have
can't
to-
make it go away.
You have to go to your avatar and change that.
I did, but
I
now
haven't
now it just like it's not showing up as like.
I haven't changed mine since like the 360 days.
Yeah,
so
I
I
hope you
can't.
guys like add me on here so you can see this because this it looks like I'm like some kind of like crazy like bloodshot
I
eyed
will-
drug dealer.
Actually, I do after the
Yeah, I was thinking the
podcast.
same thing. So we'll see this after.
Sorry to butt in, but this is like
Yeah.
kind of creeping me out.
Oh man, but
Wait till you see ours. We've had these since forever.
well,
I got Sonic the Hedgehog, and Joe has Sting.
oh yeah, I was gonna. I thought you meant the avatars. I was like, man, I don't even use those anymore. But I don't know. I see those. But,
Yeah, I mean like the little guy, kind of like the guy on like the
yeah, he's talking about
little
the
thing
avatar.
take on like
Yeah,
what do you call it like that Wii.
icon thing.
Yeah.
You would have to get like the Crash Course game to be able to see ours, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'd go with here. What would you say, Chad? Because you've known me long enough. I don't know what my sense of humor is.
I would say sarcastic. I mean, you don't really show it that often, but you definitely have your moments where you come off sarcastic.
I could probably see that, so I'll go with it. All right, the next question is, what's your favorite board game? Game of Life, Monopoly, Operation, Battleship, Sorry, or Risk?
I think Monopoly is the only one of these I've ever played before. So, what was that game? Oh man, I'm trying to think of that game I really used to like. That had like the little dice thing in the middle, like you pop it.
Is that Yahtzee? No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, what was that called? Was it wasn't like
It might
Clue
have
or
been
something like
Sorry.
that?
It might have been Sorry.
That's what comes to mind for me, but I'm not really sure either.
I used to really like that, but I can't remember.
I know
Sorry,
what
let
you're
me-
talking about. It was like it had like a little bubble in the middle that you press down. and
Yeah,
pop the
exactly.
dice.
I'm gonna Google Sorry game board.
That
See if-
isn't Sorry though. I can't think of which one that was.
Trouble, maybe?
Trouble. That was it.
Wow. I haven't played that in
That-
so long.
I love that game. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Monopoly because Trouble's not on here.
Oh, out of these, the only two that I haven't played, I think, were Sorry and Risk. I played Risk, but I don't really remember how you play it. The other ones I've all played. For me, it would be between the Game of Life and Monopoly. For me, I think I'm going to go with Monopoly. It's a classic.
I'm going to go with the Game of Life. Like, I like Monopoly too, and I played Operation a little bit in Battleship, but I always liked the Game of Life. It was just kind of fun to kind of like see what path you would go down and see how many like kids you would have and
Yeah.
like all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So
I
I
don't
definitely-
think it kind of hit you too hard sometimes though. Like when you see just like you're going through life or whatever, and then like you're like retiring or whatever and all that. It's like
I never
Well, I
played
played
this.
as
It
a-
sounds fun.
I played it as a kid, so to me it was like I was a far away thinking about retirement or anything like that. So I didn't.
Man, I forgot all about Trouble. I used to play that all the time back in like the 90s.
I think you would like the game. Well, you would have liked the Game of Life. I'm not sure about now, but I think you would have liked that, Chad.
it was fun though because you could
Yeah.
kind of like build this little life and
Yeah,
you know.
you get like jobs and stuff, and like you randomly get married and like you have a honeymoon. It's weird.
It's kind of
But
funny though, because it was always like whoever makes it to the end the quickest wins, but it seems like you'd want to be kind of slower, like make your
yeah.
life last longer.
All right. Who's your favorite 90s Nick TV show host? This is going to be a tough one. We have Summer Sanders, Omar Gooding, Mark Summers, Donnie Jeffcoat, Mike O'Malley, Annette Chavez.
All right, this makes me angry because they have 3 different people from Wild and Crazy Kids, which I hated, but they don't have the Nick Arcade guy,
Or
who was like
or Kirk
awesome.
Fogg from Legends.
Yeah, or Kirk Fogg. I don't know about you guys. I hated Wild and Crazy Kids. Like anytime that came on, I would just like change the channel until like it was over. I hated that show.
I didn't hate it.
Never was a huge fan.
I can't say I watched it religiously, but I used to watch it sometimes. I didn't hate it, but was definitely I definitely would have traded out one of these for like Kirk Fogg or any other crap host that was classic.
I love the Nick Arcade guy. That guy was awesome.
I know what you're talking
since
about. I
he's
just can't remember his name.
Since he's not on here, I'll go with Summer Sanders. Figure It Out was a good show.
It was.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Summer Sanders too. The other like Omar Gooding is kind of funny because I totally forgot about that guy until now. It's kind of like whoa, like
I remember he was on Smart Guy.
Yep.
it's a blast from the past right there.
That's Cuba Gooding Jr.'s
I know
brother.
it's weird. like wow, I totally forgot he even had a brother.
This is tough because I like a.
He probably does too.
Oh man, this is tough. I like a few of these, but
It was close with Mike O'Malley. I liked him too.
I like Mark Summers too, so he's pretty up there.
Yeah.
I'll probably go with Summer Sanders too because I kind of remember that a little more. So I'm gonna go with her, but respect to most of these people. All right, what is your favorite dessert? Ice cream, pie, cookies,
Pie.
cheesecake, cake, or donuts?
Pie.
I knew you'd say
Pie.
that.
Baby pie, pie, pie.
I gotta go with Pie as well. It wasn't my childhood nickname for nothing.
High five, brother. Kira Kasarin is smiling down from... I don't know why I
Her
just
dad
said
ever
she's
bakes
smiling.
pies.
I don't know why I just said she's smiling down from heaven proudly.
Jeez, Chad.
Did she die
it-
recently?
Yeah,
or-
talking about advancing the game of life there.
Just picturing her as Mufasa or something.
her dying and like her legacy being like carried on by our like passion of pies.
Every time we eat pie, we see her smiling face in the sky.
Oh man, this is a tough one for me again because I like a few. He's losing it.
I just got like a vision of like me and TF like on a cliff, like holding up a pie and like her face in the air.
I
We
I'm
need to
gonna have
like
to-
make an edit of this and like see what she thinks about it.
That'll become like one of the new traditions on the holiday threads.
Yeah, yes.
I need to Photoshop this week.
I'm gonna go with pie too because I like a lot of these, but if I had to think, like strawberry pie would be like my absolute favorite dessert, so I'm gonna go with that.
Well, now I'm gonna add you to the Photoshop.
There you go. It was tough though. There was a lot of good choices on here.
You can be kind of down like at the bottom of the cliff, like he's just starting to kind of find his way.
Oh man. And it is technically pizza pie too, so gotta
That's
True.
consideration. But the next question is, what color do you like the most? Pink, blue, yellow, green, purple, or red? And I know Chad's mad because no orange. And
Oh,
it's,
I'm
a
here.
it's a Nickelodeon quiz, so even I'm a little mad. So.
Yeah. I think Nickelodeon and Michelangelo were like the two things as a kid that I think made me love orange as much as I did.
I think it's
so.
one of the few quizzes too without a black. That's pretty weird.
Out of these, I will go with green.
I'll go with red out of these. That was my favorite color growing up. So
I'll go with blue. Be a little bit different. I like red and blue too, but what were you like in high school? Oops. Okay, here we go. Artsy, popular, athletic, nerdy, overachiever, or loner?
Nerdy.
I'm happy at the picture of popular. This guy, like this one guy saying there were like 3 women kissing him.
I wish that was like how school was.
what is he holding in his hand? Oh,
It's
like
like a
martini.
drink. Yeah. Sometime in high school, so this guy's living the life.
I think he's holding like a fruit or something like that. I don't know what he's doing. I gotta go with loner.
Start eating fruit more.
Out of these, I'll probably go with loner.
All right. Between that and overachiever to me, but I'll go with loner. I think that kind of fits me the most.
You loners.
What's your favorite activity? Reading, exercising, shopping, watching TV, sleeping, or anything outdoors?
Oh, anything outdoors. You guys know me.
I like how it's a picture of hunting too, which is like totally up your alley.
Out of these, I would go with watching TV probably. I like reading too.
These days it's sleeping, which is like the total opposite of me growing up. So
I'm the opposite. If I could cut out sleeping, I would.
I used to feel that way too, but now I'm just so tired. It's like I can't find enough sleep.
I would go with watching TV. I think that was the most fitting one.
What do you think I got, Joe?
This is a tough one. I gotta think of someone like that I think would fit you. Off the top of my head, someone like Josh Server comes to mind, just because I think he
I always like Josh Server.
kind of reminds me of like a little bit of your your personality in a sense. Like he just had,
I'm Detective Dan.
yeah, he just had like that randomness to him that I think you kind of have when he's characters. So I'm gonna go with him because I think that's the best fitting one I can think of.
What do you think, TF?
It's a tough one. I like Joe's choice. I think it's a decent choice. I would have thought I would have given a little more thought to this before, but I'm trying to think. I do kind of agree with Joe though. Like I think that does fit. Like I could like that kind of randomness. Like it just
I
fits.
can see that. He was always my favorite on all that, so I have no problem with that. But unfortunately, I got Amanda Bynes. It says, important, you're Amanda Bynes in the 90s, not Amanda Bynes in the year 2016.
Well, there you go.
You are full of spunk, energy, and personality. People love your quirky sense of humor, and you should totally be rocking your own show. Huh? Can't argue with that.
I could see some of that.
That's me. Now for you, TF. Don't know why. I'm going to go with Danny Tamborelli.
I can kind of see that in a strange way.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm trying to think of someone like a little like someone else, so I don't steal your answer. But it's kind of hard to compete with that because that does seem like it fits TF quite a bit. I think I'll go with it because it does seem like kind of TF-ish.
I don't even know why. It just does.
Yeah, like when he said that, it just clicked with me.
I actually got, let's see here, drum roll. I actually got Kenan Thompson. It says, you're an
Wow.
all-around funny guy. You throw the punchlines at the right time, and you always get yourself out of the mischief you get into. People love your sense of humor and your charm. But I don't know how much that fits.
I don't think it fits either. Honestly, I thought I'd get
Yeah,
20%.
I see that too.
Which leads me to my choice for Joe. I want to go with Cal just because I feel like he's kind of the Cal to my Keenan. Like I'm the one that's all scheming. He's the one that's like going along. Like, oh, here it goes.
I think that's a good choice for me.
Andy loves orange soda.
There you go.
I didn't even think of that. It's a good choice. I think.
Who loves
Go
orange
with-
soda? Joe loves orange soda. Is it true?
He's waiting for me to say it. I know.
Asked you a question, Joe. Is it true?
I do. I gotta add in like the ooh at the end of that, but TF's like thinking, so I don't know if we're buying him time or if he has an answer.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I'm gonna go ahead and say. I think I'm gonna say Big Pete from The Adventures of Pete for some reason. I don't know. Like I just it feels
can
right.
Maybe see that. I don't know if I see that.
He was pretty.
Maybe a
He was
little-
pretty serious, so I could see it in that sense.
Yeah, I could see
Whereas
that.
like Little
I'm
Pete was
thinking.
more the adventurous one.
Yeah,
I
he's
can
kind of
see
like
that.
the more of like the problem child, where instead of like the voice of reason.
But I got Kenan Thompson too.
Wow.
Chad got Amanda Bynes. We got Kenan Thompson.
Well, at least it was 90s Amanda Bynes.
That's true.
I was a fan of 90s Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of 90s Amanda Bynes.
Yeah, me too. Amanda Show was a great show.
It was.
All right, guys, we got one more thing on the show. But first, I'm going to be needing that baton, Joey.
All right, I'm handing you the baton now. Here it is.
I am taking the baton. Thank you for the baton. I'm going to let TF look at the baton.
It's a nice baton.
It is a nice baton.
Don't let him look at it too long, because according to his avatar, he'll like steal the baton and sell it for drugs.
All right, guys. I kind of wanted to do this last week, but we kind of went in overtime. But I feel like with us being 200 plus episodes now, it just feels fitting to do 5 random questions.
It does sound fitting.
Definitely sounds fun.
That's always been our trademark.
It's been a while,
segment here
too,
on the show.
so.
It has been. All right, who wants to go first?
TF says he wants to go first.
I'll go
right.
first.
Question number 1, TF. The 3 of us are all on a Chicago trip, much like the one we talked about on our last show. And somehow or another, we end up running into a man attacking a woman and rush to the rescue. The woman runs off in fear, and we get into a struggle with the man before he accidentally ends up dead, and terrified, we all go back to the hotel room and try to figure out what to do. We end up agreeing to get a good night's sleep before we go and turn ourselves in the morning and confess what happens. The next morning, you find that the other 2 of us are gone, and when you go to the police station to confess to what happened, you see us in the window talking to the police and looking like we're describing something as an artist draws a portrait of what appears to be you. What's going through your mind right now, and what do you do?
First of all, I think I would be very angry just because I would kind of feel betrayed, like I was trying to do the right thing, and then I kind of got screwed over in it. I mean, I think it would kind of change my entire viewpoint. Like, I might just kind of deny it, like say, oh, it never happened or whatever. Or like, these guys are framing me or something. I think really I would just kind of want some time to kind of just ask you guys, like, what's going on? Like, like, why are you even doing this? I mean, it just could be kind of like making a very bad situation worse. And I would just hope that at the very least that I could kind of prove that, it wasn't like I was setting out to do something to somebody. It was just, it kind of happened while I was trying to protect somebody. And
Let's say you tell the police that. I'm just going to add this as an added bonus. Let's say you tell the police that and you get away with it. Do you continue to be friends with us, or does this greatly impact our friendship?
I think it would depend on what the reasoning was. Like if you guys were just like, oh, I was just scared about it, and I would be like, well, it's like a huge jerk move, but I would kind of need more info. Like I wouldn't understand. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. Like why would you guys do this? And
What about you, Joe?
Truthfully, at first I'd probably give you guys the benefit of the doubt that maybe you were just describing me because I wasn't there and you guys were doing that and you were trying to say what the person was. But if this actually happened, you guys were seriously doing that, part of me would probably be tempted to actually go through with the sentence just so you guys would feel guilty, because I know you guys would. You guys would
You showed us, Joe.
no, you guys would probably visit my jail cell and you'd have to live with this for the rest of your life, and then I finally get free.
That's true, honestly.
And then you try and talk to me and I'm just sorry, I'm locked away forever now.
All right, part 2 for you. Let's say you get away with it. Do you feel differently about us now?
Well, I wouldn't get away with it because I technically served time, but
No, I mean,
but
no, I mean you get away with it, and that they understand that it was self-defense.
okay, well, to me it's I don't know. I don't I probably would, just because I think by nature I just would forgive someone for something like that, but it would take time because I would feel a little betrayed by that, especially since we had, talked about keeping a good night's sleep and all that, and it kind of changed. So definitely take some time. It would be a huge thing, and honestly, I'd probably have that over you guys forever at this point. Like I said, you guys would probably feel guilty, so you'd have to live with that.
I would definitely feel very, very guilty about this.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I would. Question number 2, and it's your turn to go first, Joe.
All right.
Here's a little bit of a different one. If you can pick one item that you've purchased in your life that you would get all of the money that you've ever spent on it back, what would it be?
Oh, it's only one item.
One item.
No, but I mean one item in particular, right? So
Yep.
if I said a ticket or something, it's only a ticket to one thing rather than just a bunch of things.
Well, let's say if you go ticket to WWE, you'd get back all the money that you spent on WWE.
So period.
Yep.
Man. Probably would go with that because, well, here's the thing. Am I just getting the money back for a period, or am I losing all the memories I had associated with that?
No. You basically get a rebate for it.
Dude, I would do that in a heartbeat for just WWE. I would get so much money back, it's not even funny. Just from, even if it was just tickets, just all those events and stuff, I'd probably get a ton of money back from that. But if it was just the company in general.
No, just tickets.
Okay,
just one thing.
Just tickets. No, in that case, I probably would go with merchandise in the long run because I think with all those shirts and bags,
But the thing about merchandise is like it has multiple different
that's
things. You need
true.
to only count one
All right, I'm
thing.
going with ticket just because that seems like the most likely one because I think that in general would return so much money. I mean, you could say like game consoles, but that only be one game console at a time. So definitely gets you would get so much back from that.
What about you, TF?
I think this is pretty easy for me. It would be that old car that that I took to Chicago that one time. Like all the money that was like put into that thing. Like, man, if I could get that back, like just like the gas and stuff like that. I'd
That's
have like a
true. You
ton
would
of
get
money.
gas money back, which
Yeah.
I'd have a
give them
ton
like
of money back from that thing.
I would probably go with Burger King food. I'd probably get a fortune back from that.
probably would. Maybe,
Considering I go there like every week, sometimes twice a week, I would get like a crap load of money coming to me.
I was gonna joke just for like a
How about
just
this?
for
Maybe can you get back like the money you paid at the roadway inn like in the last trip that you guys took?
I've spent
See-
way more money at Burger King in my lifetime than I have on the roadway.
See, I was gonna joke about the Wii that he bought that he bought for like no reason. I was gonna be like, he could finally justify that he got the money back for that in his mind. Even
Yeah, but
though-
here's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I know. it
I'd
wouldn't
probably
be
get
fun.
like
Yeah.
1,000 something. With Burger King, I would probably get like multiple $1,000. Like all the money I've spent on Burger King in my life.
That's true.
Forget about it.
That's
It's
true.
like 30 years worth of money. All right, question number 3, TF. You are given the option to go the rest of your life without needing to sleep ever again and not needing to eat, which would save you a lot of time and money, but this also means that you're unable to do either ever again. Do you do it?
I mean, eating is like one of the great joys of life.
I
I don't know
know.
if I could do that, but like not having to sleep is tempting.
And you save a lot of money.
Yeah, but like think of all the things you'd miss out on if you couldn't eat though. Like you couldn't go to
Ah.
dinner, like you couldn't go like
I wouldn't do it.
I couldn't do it. I mean, it would be super tempting, but I just think taking like the social aspect out of it would be the worst thing. Even aside from the fact that I mean, it'd be just too tempting to eat. Like if I couldn't do that, it would be devastating. But
Well, I guess you could still like go with people and like order a soda or something, but still.
yeah, but think how depressing that would be. Like everyone's like eating these burgers or something, and you're sitting there like,
Eh.
well, have fun, guys.
Got my Coke.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. It would be tempting, but I just don't think I could do it.
What about you, Joe?
There are many reasons I could go into as to why I wouldn't do it. I would just say one key word: Thanksgiving. That would be so awkward,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't be able to enjoy that food. I mean, you could still be there, but it would still be so weird. And I think
Dude, Thanksgiving would be, I don't want to say crap. I think we'd still make it fun, but it would be not the same at all.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
definitely not be the same.
So for that reason, just like on top of a ton of others, I definitely would go with that.
All right, question number 4. It's your turn to go first, Joe. After accidentally stumbling into a wormhole that is hidden on Earth, you end up being transported into the future 120 years from now. Everyone you know and love have died, but through research on the internet you find that after a period of sadness after you disappeared, they all went on to live happy and meaningful lives. You become very happy in the future, enjoying fame as the guy from the 21st century, enjoying a new job that you find that you really enjoy, and fall in love and get married with the woman of your dreams. After all of this, scientists end up inventing time travel and offer you a one-way trip back to 2016, but you have to make the trip alone and give up everything and everyone that you have there. Do you go back or do you stay in the future?
That's very tempting, and like I would be tempted to stay. But I would go back because like in a sense, I'd feel like I missed so much time with like you guys and my family, and even though they got over it and everything went peacefully, still it's like I would want to go back and enjoy that time. So I definitely would go back, as hard as it would be.
It's understandable. What about you, TF?
Oh yeah, it's tough, but I think I have to agree with Joe. I think that even if I knew everyone else was happy and it would be like an extremely awesome and like a life-changing thing to, be able to kind of go into the future like that, but I think I'd have to stick around. I think I'd have to go back. I'd have to, go back to, friends and family, the present day, that type of thing, and it would be super hard, especially if I knew that everything would work out for everybody, but
It's tough because you're basically giving up like this dream life to go back to what you
Yeah.
know, but
it's tough, but I think I'd probably stick with what I have, I may regret that, but that's probably what I would do.
I think I'd do the same. It'd be tough, and I'd have to think about it, but I'd come back for you guys. All right, question number 5, TF. You and I are in a position where my life is in danger, and the only surefire way to save me is to give me a pill that would make me forget about you and any memories I've ever had of you. I, however, refuse to take it. Do you try and force it on me somehow to save my life? And if so, how do you deal with knowing that I'll forget you exist?
I think I would force you. I mean, it may be kind of selfish, but I mean, we probably got a lot of time left. And, you know, we may have known each other for really the majority of our lives now, but that could just be a drop in the bucket compared to what's left. And, I mean, you could get to know me again. But,
What if I hate you? What if the new me is like, I don't like this guy?
I mean, it's always a possibility, but at the very least, you would still be there, like you'd still be alive, and you'd still have the chance to be with your family and kind of, build a life of your own. And I mean, I don't think that I would be able to prevent that. I don't think I would have it in me to do that because I don't think it would be right, even if it meant, forgetting about me.
What about you, Joe?
TF hit it pretty much right on the head with what I was going to say, in that it would be beyond me. Like, I would do it just because I would think of, like, your family and, every other friend that maybe needs you, like, in that sense. Like, they, we talked about that last question about how, like, how everything's not okay, after your disappearance. It's like, what if this isn't so surefire? What if, someone else suffers because, you're gone? It's like, I would have to think of that, even though it would lead to what it leads to. Like TF said, maybe things could be rebuilt, but even if not, still, like, maybe someone who needs you, like your family or, other friends or whoever, like, might need you, and you need to be there for them. It's like, in that sense, I would feel like I have to do it because I feel like that would be the right thing to do.
I think the tough thing for me, if I were in that situation, is it would be really hard for me to go against your will. Like, if either of you guys refused to do it, it'd be like, man, it's like I would want to save your life, but I'd basically be doing exactly what you don't want me to do.
It's true. Although you wouldn't remember it in a sense either. I mean, you would remember it, but
True.
they wouldn't remember it in a sense because they'd forget about you.
True. All right, guys, that was 5 random questions.
That was fun. I enjoyed that. You came up with some thought-provoking questions.
Yeah,
I'm
so
glad you guys enjoyed it.
very thought-provoking.
It's fun coming up with them. And that was our show tonight, everybody. Episode 201. I thought it went very well.
Yeah, I enjoyed the show tonight. It was fun, kind of a more upbeat show, which is cool, and it's fun to kind of get back to the groove of things after our 200th show, where we kind of stepped off the off the script a little bit to do kind of a throwback show, and I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope everyone else enjoyed it as well. So until number 202, take care and have a good one, everybody.
I didn't say thanks everybody for listening first.
I did.
You just ruined my night.
I don't know what to say, man. I mean,
thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, take care and have a good one.
All right, everybody. Very fun show. We'll see you next week.
Jim is like, you're really so awkwardly entering this. Like,
don't you dare
I feel
miss
much better now. Say it again, Joe.
Don't you dare miss it.
One more time.
Don't you dare miss it.